magaalada Toronto ee dalka Canada ayaa lagu qabtay munaasabad aad u ballaaran oo ay ka soo qayb galeen qaybaha kala duwan ee bulshada ku dhaqan magaalada Toronto ee dalka Canada iyo marti sharaf lagu casuumay soddon guuradii ka soo wareegatay markii la aasaasay ururka Somali-Canadian oo ururkii ugu horreeyay ee Soomaalida degan dalka Canada ay yeeshaan kaasoo lagu aasaasay magaalada Toronto. waxaa ka soo qayb galay wasiirka dib u dejinta iyo guriyinta dowladda Ontario mudane Peter Million iyo mudane Vincent Crescent oo ah kansalarka xaafadda Soomaalida degan tahay iyo sarkaal ka tirsan ciidanka booliiska magaalada Toronto. sidoo kale waxaa soo xaadiray guddiga Somali-Canadian oo shaqeynaya muddo 30 sano ah. munaasabadaas oo si qurux badan loo soo agaasimay waxay u dhacday sida tan ee daawasho wacan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, guests, members, and the Somali-Canadians of Etobicoke. Welcome to the Somali-Canadian Association of Etobicoke's 30th Annual General Meeting. My name is Samsam Dahir, and I'm the Youth Coordinator here at Somali-Canadian Association of Etobicoke, and I will be your MC for this evening. Also, on behalf of the association, I thank you guys all for coming and joining us as we look back at the past achievements throughout the years. Tonight, we will start with Sheikh Abdullah, who will be reciting the Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين.
Thank you, Sheikh Abdullah, for that beautiful recitation. And now we'll be welcoming onto the stage Ms. Salah, who is our program director, who will be reading our President's and Treasurer's report.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sahan. I prefer being called Ms. Salat, and I will be explaining what's going on here today with the Somali-Canadian Association of Etobicoke. Good evening, and welcome to the Somali-Canadian Association of Etobicoke's 30th Annual General Meeting. On behalf of the Board of Directors, staff, and volunteers, and members of the Somali-Canadian Association of Etobicoke, we thank you for taking your time to be here and celebrate with us. Tonight, we'll be having a short business-like AGM, and we hope to finish by 8:30. This year, we are excited to announce a number of new programs, and we hope to administrate. With your permission, we would like to call order and start the meeting. I have the privilege of introducing to you our President, Dr. Asli Saeed, and I will read her presentation to you. Welcome to the Somali-Canadian Association of Etobicoke's 30th Annual General Meeting. First of all, I would like to thank the members of this organization for their active participation of all our programs and activities. Also, I would like to thank year-round volunteers, year-advanced board members, the advisory committees, and our excellent staff for working so hard to delivering exceptional service to our community. I would like to thank our funders, especially the Canadian government, Ontario government, and the City of Toronto. A very special thank you to our community mobilization funds and our local business partnerships for support in helping the organization's activities. Without the generous funds of our supporters, we would not be able to run the organization. Dear honorable guests and members, the organization is strong and visible. We hope to continue to serve the community in the coming years. Every year, we try to educate our youth in understanding the nonprofit organizations and ask them to volunteer their time to the community as they are the future leaders of tomorrow. On behalf of Board of Directors, staff, and volunteers, we would like to take this opportunity to thank you all for attending the 30th Annual General Meeting. On behalf of Dr. Asli Saeed, our President. I will also be telling you all about the Treasurer's Report, so please bear with me. Somali-Canadian staff has worked very hard to diversify our funding of this year. We have secured funding from the Law Foundation of Ontario, Service Canada for their ongoing summer youth jobs, the City of Toronto, the Ministry of Children and Youth Services, and the Wood Green Community Services. We are also expecting the funds from Ontario Trillium Foundations, the Ministry of Housing, additional funds from the Ministry of Education and Youth Services. Also, we have increased our community mobilization funds from our community, business, and partnerships. For the upcoming year, we hope to increase our funding and surpass the previous year's funding. In the upcoming slides, you will find that Somali-Canadian Association of Etobicoke's financial statement of the year ending March 31st, 2017. I just want to underline that in 2016-2017, we tried to self-sustain our youth funding, and as difficult as it was, we at least reached our goal, and we are lucky that we are not depending on only one source of funding. For whatever reason, if one funder delays our funding or decides not to fund our organization, Somali-Canadian Association of Etobicoke will sustain and continue to serve the community. At this time, we would like to bring forward the motion to approve the organization's financial statement for the year ending March 31st, 2017. Next, we would like to approve the appointment of licensed public accountant. We would like our accounting and staff professional cooperation to prepare next year's financial statements. Thank you for listening. Ms. Zahra Umar, the Treasurer.
Director will speak on the financial statements of 2017 to 2018, also the appointment of licensed public accountant, ending off with the elections of the Board of Directors for 2017 to 2019. Osman Ali, everyone.
Right now, we're going to ask my Assistant Director to quickly read a couple notes for the Executive's note, and Councillor and Deputy Minister Vince will speak, and then Yafet and Sergeant Bassi will speak, and our keynote speaker, Honorable Minister Peter Martin, Minister of Housing, responsible for poverty reduction, will be our keynote speaker. So we're going to try to finish and wrap quickly, and then we have one more note to tell you. All the people who are here, thank you very much for being patient.
Welcome, everyone, to the 30th Annual General Meeting of Somali-Canadian Association of Etobicoke. Once again, we reflect on the years that have been and look at the years ahead. The strength and the unity of the Somali-Canadian Association of Etobicoke continues to propel us forward as the years go by. Our 2017-2018 has been years full of exciting changes. I have had the privilege to work with a dedicated board of members and directors who have worked hard and have been exceptionally supportive, and I am thrilled that the board is committed to a staffing plan that solidifies a team approach. Our clients and our volunteers are the heart of this organization, and what a pleasure it has been to work with both groups. As we all know, community organizations play a key role in helping improve the social well-being of individuals, groups, and neighborhoods. From our children that we care for as a community to ensure that our next generation carries on in a good way. To the youth finding their identities, to learning new skills, and finding the secure place in the community. To ensuring that social participation of our seniors. None of our efforts would truly be successful without the backing of our founders and community support. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank our founders, especially the agency offices who are at the front line of the government departments for understanding the needs of our community. This year, we have been fortunate enough to receive funding from the Minister of Children and Youth Services, the Law Foundation of Ontario, the City of Toronto, Canada Summer Jobs, Ministry of Training, Colleges and Universities, and Wood Green Senior Services. 2017 was the year of the implications of our Youth Criminal Justice Act project, which proved to be challenging. Yet we rose to administer the first steps very successfully. We are excited to begin the administration of our 3 years Together We Can mentorship program, which we have partnered with FYI and are funded by Ontario Ministry of Children and Youth Services, not to mention our own ongoing partnership with Career Foundation, VPI Working Solutions, YMCA Employment Services. As a result, those partnerships that we have managed to prove 50 youth within jobs within 2016-2017 year. Thank you for your time.
At this time, we'll have a few special guest speakers. Introducing our guest speakers is our Administrative Assistant, Mokim Liban.
Hi everyone, my name is Moki Liban and I'm an administrative assistant here at Somali-Canadian. And our guest speakers are people who've worked with us, worked close with us for many years, and we're very happy to have them here tonight. So first off, we have Toronto City Councillor Vincent Cristani from Etobicoke North. Please welcome Councillor Cristani to the stage.
Thank you and good evening everyone. Buonasera a tutti. How many people here speak Italian? Hands, let me see. All right, so I can say this in Italian then. Even MPP Milcham will understand. Sì, bravo, capisce bene. Anyway, so I'm honored to be here this evening, and annual general meetings are important times of the year to be able to reflect on our past year and to make sure that we're on track and to make sure that we have a vision for our new year that we're starting. And so I'm happy to be here also with, just want to acknowledge a couple of people that, of course, I just said, my good friend Peter Milchin, MPP, and also Minister of Housing. He will speak to you later in a few minutes. And Officer Osagi, from Toronto Police Service, that's here tonight, and the elders that are here, and all the senior people, and all the committee members. It's important that you're all here. I go to a lot of annual general meetings, and I got to tell you, I'm quite impressed this evening, with the turnout that's at this meeting. Not too often I see the kind of commitment that I'm, participating with here tonight. That's what makes the difference between a successful organization and an organization that's not so successful. And the riding that I represent, Etobicoke North Ward 1, there are up here in Etobicoke North, we're blessed with a whole lot of wonderful things. As you know, I just want to mention some of them or remind you about some of them. We're one of the few wards that have 4 community centers, 4 of them. Some of them, are struggling even with 1. We got 4. We have the largest hub, Rexdale Hub is the largest hub in the city of Toronto, 77,000 square feet. And then, of course, the Thistletown Community Centre that we're in right now. And as you might recall, this centre was in jeopardy just a short few months ago. But with a lot of hard work from community members, my office and so on, and city staff, City of Toronto now owns this centre. And I think that's a tremendous accomplishment. And so I'd be remiss not to say that the Somali-Canadian Association, now serving our community for 30 years, has done a tremendous job. You're there for your community. You provide the services your community needs. But one part that I'm really proud to see is a lot of young people here tonight, and to see you serving and helping our young people, particularly in the kind of environment that we live in today, that means a lot. It means a lot to all of us, to our families. It means a lot to me because I like to see young people involved in good programs. We need to mentor our young people and make sure that they're doing well in their lives. Because you just heard Osmond say, they're our future leaders. And so we need to do that. So I know that I'm looking at the agenda here, and I know that everyone's eager to get to number 12, item number 12. So I won't be too much longer. But I do want to recognize the 30 years. I want to ask Osmond to come up, and on behalf of myself, the City of Toronto, accept this very small token of recognition for the wonderful work that the Somali community and that you do in our community, in the City of Toronto and Etobicoke North. Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much, and we appreciate your hard work and friendship, and always your
Thank you again so much, Vincent. Our next guest speaker is Sergeant Basio Sagi, who is from the Toronto Police Service. He is a good friend of Somali-Canadian Association, and he has been working with us for a very long time. We appreciate his friendship and ongoing support. Please welcome Sergeant Bassi to the stage.
Good evening, Councillor and MPP, Michin, the elders, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the community. First of all, I bring greetings from the Chief of Police, Chief Mark Sanders. Obviously, he's not here tonight. I just want to say that it has been a pleasure working with the Somali-Canadian Association of Etobicoke. It has always been a pleasure working with the organization under the leadership of Usman. And I am here tonight to pledge that I will continue to support the organization, and a member of the Toronto Police Service will continue to support the organization. We at the Toronto Police Service, we are going through a transformational agenda. We are trying to remodernize our police service, but that doesn't change our core value. What we do, what we want to continue to do is to work in partnership with the community, especially the youth. We'd like to hear the youth voice. We'd like to hear the youth participation. And we'd like to hear from them to see how we are doing and how we are able to improve our interaction with the youth. I sit on the Toronto Youth Cabinet Council, on the Community Safety Working Committee. I will encourage any youth here who is interested to be in that committee to contact me so that they can be a voice as we move forward in our transformation agenda. I'm not going to spend too much time here, but any youth here, any elder, any community member who wish police participation in anything you do, you can contact me. Usman has my contact. I'm sure a lot of community members here, they know me. Just contact me, and I will ensure that you get Toronto Police support in whatever you intend to do. So thank you. Thank everyone for coming. And please, let's continue to work together, and then so we can make our community great.
Thank you, Sergeant Ogassi. Our next guest speaker is Adher Usman Haji Noor, who is the Somali elder in our community and a member of our organization. Please welcome Usman Haji to the stage.
marka waxaa jira weydin salaamo dadkiinaan meesha jooga weydin salaam meeshan hadda galabta waxaa naloo sheegay inay 30 sano jirtay maamulkan ummadda loogu khidmaynayay oo 30 sano ayaan qaylo iyo isqabqabsi iyo balaayo ka iman waa waxyaalaha ilaahay loogu shukriyaa oo lagu faani karo oo la xaqiijin karo mas'uuliyantoodu inay yihiin dad wax wadi kara dadku wadana kan waynu nimi in yar baa hadda inta meesha farfadhida ku dhalatay badi dalalkeena baanu ka nimi waxaynu la kulannay wax wanaaga oo aynaan ka abaalgudi karin way igu adagta aniga Canada maantay shacbiga Soomaaliyeed waxay u samaysay inaan sheego waayo waa wax maskaxdayda ka badan oo aanan soo koobi karin waxa layna ka rabo oo aynu ugu abaalgudi karo ma gudi karo abaalkaas laakiin waxayna ku waajiba waxa wadankooda sharcigoodu yahay oo dadkoodu ku dhaqmaayo inaynu ku dhaqanno waynaan waxay kahdaan oo wax wadanka joogi jirin aynu keenno midaas kaliya bal hay abaalguduga dhigne bini aadamka waxa ugu xun qofka bini aadamka oo loo oran karo waa u ruqiisan yahay ninka waxa loo galo aan aqoon oo suu abaalgudo oo mahad uga celiyo aqoon waxaan marka idinku leeyahay rasaaladaas aan dhiibayo kuwiina jooga kuwa maqan ha u sheegeen Canada inaan ugu abaalgudin abaalka dhac iyo ceeb iyo waxayan qaadi karaan oo qulaysa inaynu saaro ee aynu u mahadnaqno oo waxay ina faraanin sharciga Canada qof ina fari maayo sharciga Canada wuxuu ina farayo aynu yeelo.
And we've been partners for several projects now, and we appreciate his friendship and cooperation. Please welcome Yafa to the stage.
Good evening. Salam. My name is Yafit. I am the program director from For Youth Initiative. And I'm here today just to provide greetings and well wishes. FYI, For Youth Initiative, we are a youth-based charity based in the city of Toronto in York Southwest in the Keele and Eglinton area. And our goal is to unlock the potential of teens and young adults in the city of Toronto in York Southwestern. And we've partnered with the Somali-Canadian Association of Etobicoke to provide opportunities for Somali youth to start their own businesses, to learn about financial independence, and to provide the capacities so that they can provide for themselves and for their families. We're very proud to do this. This is a project that we have funded through the Ontario Black Youth Action Plan, a provincial initiative run under the Ministry of Children and Youth Services and the Minister responsible for anti-racism and the Anti-Racism Directorate, Michael Couteau, and we say thank you for that. And I also wanted to say congratulations to the Somali-Canadian Association of Etobicoke for 30 years. Imagine that, 30 years. What does that mean? What does 30 years mean in Toronto, in Ontario, and in Canada? For Youth Initiative, we've been based in our area, in the Keele and Eglinton area, for just over 20 years now. And the opportunities that we see that provide for our communities, when we look at what we're trying to provide for our young people, when we look at the youth that we deal with who are black and other racially marginalized communities, who are living in this country looking for those opportunities. And that has been the theme of what we've been seeing here. But when we think about 30 years in the Somali community, 30 years in our black communities, when we think about what that actually means, when we still see violence rampant in our communities, when we still see poverty rampant in our communities, when we still see exclusion and nihilism, when our youth are not able to see a future for themselves in this country, we must ask why. I know many of us here are parents, our children, our grandparents, our brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, and we ask why. Why don't our youth see it for themselves? Why don't we see it for ourselves? And so when we think about what that actually means, when we think of that, the 30 years that an organization like this can achieve and all the work that it's done, when we think the 20 plus years an organization like For Youth Initiative can achieve, when we think of the communities that we're working with, when we see what's happening in the Somali community, when we think of the violence, we must understand that this is not something endemic to our communities. Our youth are not born in thinking that poverty is for them. Our youth are not born with the idea that violence and killing their brothers and sisters or being victims from their brothers and sisters are for them. It is not something that they're taught growing up, but it is something that is built into them because of the exclusion in our countries. The reason why the province of Ontario has set up the Anti-Racism Directorate, has set up an Ontario Black Youth Action Plan, is because the Ontario government has now seen it as necessary to make it policy to understand that the violence that we see in our communities don't come because our youth are born this way. It becomes because of the racism they experience, the poverty they experience, the exclusion they experience. This is what we're seeing. And what we need to understand is what the Ontario government is now understanding 30 years later. That we have the power and the ability to do that for ourselves, and it is time that we work together. But not in a place where we do the work and they take the credit. And I understand this, I'm saying this with a member of provincial parliament sitting next to me. But we must understand that the time is here for us to take the power into our hands. When we think of what entrepreneurship means, it is time that we build for ourselves and we empower our youth and our communities to do that for ourselves. Not so that we can take over other people, so that we can build and protect and provide for our families. Funding for our government is not an end, but just a beginning. And all endings are beginnings. And so we must remember that this funding is not something that we're looking to say thank you and a pat on the head and we go on our way. But it is a beginning for a contribution to say that we're in this together. And that when we look at what we need to empower our youth to do, is we need to remember we must work together to empower our youth to unseat racism from all areas. Or we must empower our youth to unseat those who will maintain racism. And that is what our time is now. Thank you very much. Osman, congratulations. 30 years, Somali-Canadian Association Etobicoke, 30 years. Give a round of applause for everybody here. Thank you very much.
Thank you to all our guest speakers for their wonderful insight and inspirational words. At this time, we'll have Osman Ali introduce our keynote speaker.
My goodness, Yafet, thank you, Councillor, thank you, everybody. And I can relax because I have capable youth that will be taking over. So I want to thank our MC. And also I want to thank our assistant executive director. Also I want to thank my communication director, my youth workers who worked and set up everything, the program developers who are really the ones who do the applications with the help of these three ladies. Right now, we are averaging 2 or 3 applications a week, because this is the application time. So I thank, and Philson Wavy, that's the person who's there. She's shy, but she's the person who does, and with the help of all of us. So I want to thank all my staff. I want to thank my board members who are really very supportive, and the community members, including the mosques around here, and the leaders such as Mohammed, Siraji, and the rest of you, and Shep. Right now, to welcome my friend, the Ontario Minister of Housing. Please, Peter, welcome.
Salam. It is a pleasure to be here on your 30th anniversary. It was almost 30 years ago, I was a young boy, and I met a young man named Osman Ali, and we started working together on issues that affect your community and our shared community. So I'm particularly honored to be asked by Osman to come here and speak to you this evening on a very important occasion in your community. I was with Premier Kathleen Wynne earlier this morning at Humber College, and she was going on to visit a mosque in Rexdale. She knows about your meeting this evening. She asked me specifically to bring her greetings and her best wishes to the Somali-Canadian Association of Etobicoke. She knows the wonderful work that you do. And my good friend, your Member of Provincial Parliament, Dr. Shafiq Qadri, he can't be here this evening, but he also asked me to express on his behalf his best wishes and warm feelings to all of you. And he also knows the wonderful work that you do. My friend, Councillor Crisanti, Sergeant, Elders, thank you for your words this evening. Yafet, you spoke far more eloquently on the issue that I was going to mention as well than I could ever. But especially what the Elder said about his feelings Canada has done for him and for your community. I want to bring to you, on behalf of myself and certainly on behalf of the Ontario government, thank you for what you have done for us. You make Toronto, Etobicoke, Ontario and Canada more diverse, more interesting. You bring new voices, new languages, new food, new perspectives to us. And that does not weaken us as Canadians or Ontarians. That strengthens us. But that doesn't mean that we necessarily know how to respond to that as well as we should. And as was mentioned, perhaps it took far too long for the government to recognize that racism is something that is systemic in our society, and it needs to be addressed in a systemic way. And it can't simply be done through words or apologies, as important as they sometimes are, but through some fundamental change. And that's why I'm very proud that our Premier established an anti-racism directorate, made a Ontario minister responsible for this. The Honourable Michael Coteau is extremely passionate about this. He's done wonderful work, joined with many others. And this is a real change in how our government wants to address these issues in this province and work with various communities. But it's part of a bigger vision that we have. about creating more fairness and opportunity for all Ontarians. Whether it's addressing fundamental issues of exclusion, of racism, for the Black community, for other racialized communities, for our Indigenous peoples, but also ensuring that there's access to jobs, that there is access to education for our young people. That's why we brought in free tuition for many people, and this year, close to 1/3 of all post-secondary students in Ontario received free tuition. That's why we focused our efforts also on ensuring there's better health care for all, and on our goal to have universal pharmacare for all. We began with our young people, so that everyone under the age of 25 now has access to free prescription medications. That's why we understand it's fundamentally unfair that many people in our province were working for wages that never allowed them to do better, to look after themselves and their families, and that is why we raised the minimum wage. That is why we're investing in our health care, and especially in health care for seniors. So we know that those who have depended, who've worked hard and now depend on our support, it will be there for them. And in my role, 2 roles, Minister of Housing and Minister for the Poverty Reduction Strategy, I can tell you I've been working very closely with Mayor Tory and the City of Toronto since I was appointed. I was very pleased to be able to deliver last year $343 million to the City of Toronto for them to be able to invest in Toronto community housing, to begin refurbishing and rebuilding the homes for so many of our residents. But that is only the beginning. We are not finished with that. We will continue to work together on Toronto community housing, but also on building more affordable housing of various types. We're fighting for you. Thank you.
Disability is traveling to overseas, and she sends her best wishes. And also, the Office of the Prime Minister, Honorable Justin Trudeau, staff just handed me this beautiful black. Do we have that on here? This is very beautiful, and he always sends. This is from the Prime Minister. This is to you guys, and it says, and this is what it says. March 16, 2018. Dear Somali friends, I am pleased to offer you my warmest greeting to everyone celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Somali-Canadian Association of Etobicoke. Since it was founded in 1987, the Somali-Canadian Association has provided important service to the Somali immigrants and refugees. Today's annual membership general meeting offers a wonderful opportunity to reflect upon the history of the organization, to celebrate its many achievements, and to set goals for the future. I would like to thank members of the Somali-Canadian Association for fostering fellowship in the community. You can take pride in the knowledge that your efforts are helping to strengthen the multicultural fabric of our nation, Canada. Please accept my best wishes for memorable anniversary celebration for continued success. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now, please enjoy the refreshment. We have Somali food.